Colts, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
He had a
super cool dude, isn't he? He's a great guy.
He had a 10-year career?
Yeah, he ended up playing. So he was like a late round draft pick, and the teams knew that a strike was coming.
Right.
It's like the guys that got cut. Basically, a lot of GMs told him, "Hey, listen, stay around town, stay in shape. You could be playing 3 or 4 weeks from now," and that was Mike's case.
Who besides Mike? Who are some of the names that you'd know from?
Now I got to do some thinking about this.
Rake, it's not easy sitting next to me.
I know.
I do not make it easy.
No,
I don't make it
don't.
easy driving next to me,
Right,
sitting next to me.
Copy, LJ. Well, Shane Falco.
How many years did he stick?
Well, I don't know how. The movie The Replacements was in 2000, so he moved on to John Wick and Matrix stuff after that. So.
Oh God. I'm actually thinking it's a player.
And Bill and Ted's 3 is coming out, so.
He's not in it though, right?
Yes, he is.
He's 60.
It's a time machine.
33, Danny Barbier.
It's the best part of the broadcast right here, and it won't make the air.
34, Dominic Resatar. 39, Peter Kuich. 40, Dylan Cerna. 46, Jake Davis.
Good job, Reb.
80, Fredinho Montpellier. 84, Jahan Rad. 88, Sam Graydon. 96, Wilson Harris. And the captain is 32, Christian Duke. The head coach of Sporting Kansas City 2 is Paulo Nakamura. Fans, looking the starting 11 for your Indy 11. In goal, 0, short and far. Number 2, Connor Edley. Number 4, Tyler Gibson.
For the second time this week, the boys are blue and back in downtown Indianapolis and looking for a 12th straight victory in this building. While Sporting Kansas City 2 is looking to build off their first win of the season. It's a Group B matchup between the Indy 11 and Sporting Kansas City 2. Let's show you the table. These two teams bracketed currently. Indy 11, the most points of any team in the USL Championship with 15. 6 points clear of St. Louis FC. And Lou City, a surprising third place, some 9 points back of the Indy 11. And those two teams will meet up next Saturday. Alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. Thank you so much for joining us on Wish TV and ESPN Plus. And after their first loss of the season, Brad, the boys in blue were very impressive in a 4-1 victory against Hartford on Wednesday night.
Great response. It's exactly what you want to see in the locker room and as a coaching staff.
Plenty of highlights to show you with 4 goals scored, including one just 4 minutes in. King to Nick Moon for his first Indy 11 goal.
Such a great one-touch ball bent in behind the back line.
To Hartford's credit, they leveled early in half number 2. So who do the Indy Indy 11 find when you need a goal? That would be Tyler Pasher.
It's such a great individual effort here. He's got 3 or 4 guys trying to tackle him. He keeps fighting, keeps the ball alive. Ilya Illich finds him.
6th goal in 6 matches for Tyler Pasher, the league's leading goal scorer. The next 2 goals were served up by Carl Ouimet. The first recipient, Drew Connor.
How about that? Ouimet sees the high back line, just cleverly touches it right over the top. Drew Connor finishes it.
And if the 3rd goal didn't settle it, the 4th one certainly did. One more time, Ouimet sets him up, and this time it is super sub Matt Watson that latches on for the final goal of the evening.
Yeah, you could see Ouimet was looking for it. He had the hot hand, and Matty Watson finished it off.
The last time that Sporting Kansas City 2 was here, Wilson Harris scored a goal. The last time Sporting Kansas City 2 played, Wilson Harris got the game-winning goal. The turnover by Lou City, Harris finds the back of the net, and SKC2 finds the win column for the first time.
Yeah, unbelievable mistake by Lou City to have that turnover, but Sporting Kansas City 2 did a great job, pounced on it, and finished it.
And these are 2 of the top scorers in the league for the last 2 years combined. Harris, who is just 20 years of age, now has 14 goals from the beginning of last season to tonight, and Tyler Pasher, 19 goals over the last couple of seasons. By the way, Solomon Asante of Phoenix leads that race with an astounding total of 25. Time for the starting lineups now, presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11, the pride of Southern Indiana. Brooks Thompson is back in goal for Sporting Kansas City 2, and both of their goal scorers from Wednesday night in Resitar and Harris up top for Paulo Nagamura's team.
And on fairly fresh legs because they subbed for each other.
And for the Indy 11, Jordan Farr gets his first start of the evening. Again, he was the goalkeeper due to injury to Evan Newton during the playoffs last year. Had a couple of clean sheets, getting Indy to the conference final. Also of note, Felicien Dumas gets his first Indy 11 start, and Kenny Walker in the starting lineup for the first time this year as well for the Indy 11. Second time in 15 days that these 2 teams have gotten together. And don't be fooled by Sporting Kansas City 2's last place status. They're a good team. We expect a really fun matchup this evening. Thank you so much for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer here on Wish TV and ESPN+. The many young, talented players on this Sporting Kansas City 2 roster who got rewarded with that first victory of the season, winning in Louisville on Wednesday night. Thanks for joining us on Wish TV and ESPN+. 4th meeting between these 2 teams over the last 2 seasons. Indy 11 has won the previous 3. 3-1 in Kansas City last April, and a pair of 2-1 victories here in the regular season finale in October. And just 2 weeks ago, after tonight, these two teams will not see each other for about 5 weeks. It'll be September the 9th, the next time these two square off again. Take a look at the injury report brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Carl Howarth remains out with a leg injury. You no longer see Ioze on that list. He is available for selection off the bench. For Indy 11 head coach Martin Running, he was injured against Sporting Kansas City 2 weeks ago. In fact, in that game, Connor Antley came in to replace him in minute number 11. Antley basically has not left the field since.
Think about the luxury that they have. On the bench right now, you've got Andrew Carlton, Ilya Illich, and Ioze. 3 incredibly creative players that are coming off the bench.
A little bit different for Antley tonight. He is going to play the right side, what would normally be Howarth's position, with Felicien Dumas playing what would be the left wing position that normally belongs to Ioze. Dumas has appeared as a reserve in each of the last 2 matchups against St. Louis and Hartford Athletic. Felicien was signed right as the restart of the season was getting going. He is a young man that was in camp with the team out of the University of Notre Dame. His nationality is French, yet his hometown is Tokyo, Japan. He'll make for a fascinating conversation at some point in time on Soccer Saturday. Ball is at the feet of Brooks Thompson. If you're with us 2 weeks ago, you heard us talk about his story. He is 18 years of age. He is from Southern Indiana, Floyd's Knobs, Indiana to be exact. He has played in now 3 of the 5 matchups for Sporting Kansas City 2 so far this season. He was not in goal for them on Wednesday night. Remy Pryor made his season debut for Sporting Kansas City 2 and did a fantastic job with 8 saves in the victory against Lou City. Cam Lindley now with the ball at his feet and distributes it to Dumas on the left side. Lindley times up the run, plays it across, and Thompson gets a very easy first play of the game. Time now for the keys to this match, brought to us by our Central Indiana Honda Dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. And the 11, Brad, you say they need to play with tempo.
Yep, whether Sporting Kansas City 2 plays with a high press or a low press, the best way to beat them is with quick passes and movement. The second half on Sunday saw a 3-goal explosion when they upped the tempo. If they can replicate that here, it's going to be a good match for them. Also open up the field, try to spread out Sporting. See if you can open up some channels and make their shifts more difficult. For Sporting Kansas City 2, drop the back line. Indy's 4 goals on Sunday were a ball served in behind, 1 played through, and 2 over the top. If they keep attacking with space behind their back line, they do so at their own risk. Indy's going to get in behind them.
Like this.
Like that.
Here goes Tyler Pasher. Again, trying to set up that left side. Pasher finds a window.
Great save.
Cannot find the back post as Thompson makes his 11th save in a little more than 2 matches on the year.
Great save. Great hit.
And a late challenge on the slide by Felicien Dumas. Take a look at the first shot on goal of the game for Tyler Pasher.
And exactly what we were just discussing. If you leave that attacking space behind your back line with the pace and creativity of Indy 11, you're asking for trouble.
So Nick Moon once again gets the start as the strike mate up top with Tyler Pasher. Nick got his first Indy 11 goal on Wednesday night. Both of these two teams scored in the first 10 minutes of their midweek victories. Recitar in minute number 8 for Sporting Kansas City 2. Nick Moon in minute number 4. And Jordan Farr getting his first playing time of this season after playing in 10 matches last year, filling in for Evan Newton in 2 different injury stints a year ago. Played a lot during the month of June and then really played from the end of October on And the curls are looking glorious for Mr. Farr.
You know what also is looking glorious? Just the way he's carrying himself. The presence. You have to have presence in goal. If you expect your team to be able to follow you as you lead from that position, if you expect other teams to feel a sense of unease when they're in the box with you in goal, you have to be able to carry yourself like a starting keeper. You see that in Jordan Farr.
And again, I think there's a real feeling with the Indy 11 that Evan Newton is the starting goalkeeper, no doubt. But it's like you have a second starter in Jordan Farr.
Absolutely.
Hackshaw has to scamper to get that ball away from Recitar. Does play it off of his leg. So a throw-in coming for the Indy 11. And we want to say hello to the entire Farr family back in Oregon.
Hey, Farrs.
Our Oregon numbers go through the roof when Jordan plays. So hello to everybody back in Oregon that is watching on late Saturday afternoon for everybody on the West Coast.
I tell you, I got to believe that just based on the personality Jordan has, they watch whether he's playing or not. That is a completely team-oriented family. But you talk about the importance of having two starting keepers, and there was nothing more evident than that in the playoff run last year.
And again, really, if you're looking for squad rotation, this is the 5th match in 15 days. This honestly finishes the busiest section of the season for the Indy 11. Potential opportunity here. Recitar plays it to Harris. Duke heads toward the near post. Ball doesn't get to him because Barrett sweeps it away. But there will be a couple of more double-up weeks for the Indy 11, like the last two have been, but they will not take place until September. There's Martin running, longest tenured coach in the history of the Indy 11. His top assistant, Juan Guerra, located next to him on his left. Of course, the best start in franchise history is continuing. After this club won their first 4 matchups to start the season, they had never won their first 2 until this year. And they have the most points of any of the 35 teams in the USL Championship at this juncture of the season. Tampa Bay is next at 11. Antley is onside, and Thompson wisely takes one step back to make sure he is within that 18-yard box to make the play.
And I love the distribution from Thompson right there. Antley is going to press that ball through, and that's going to open up a little bit of space here on the right. That's Thompson's first look.
Good play by Rad to win that ball away from Lindley. Leads to a 3v3 here. Recitar looking to play it across, and instead goes for the top right corner. Can't locate it. Goal kick coming for Jordan Farr. Paulo Nagamura, longtime Major League Soccer veteran. His last 5 years with Sporting Kansas City. Before that, spent time with the LA Galaxy, Toronto FC, and Chivas USA. He has now been an assistant coach or the head coach of Swope Park / Sporting Kansas City 2 for the last 4 years.
Well, you referenced it early on here that this is a better team than their record shows. And when you're a young team, when you're a 2 team to an MLS team, you've got a lot of young guys on your roster. It's important to keep confidence. They were in every game. They played so well through their first 3 games, and then they got rewarded against Lou City a couple days ago. And what that can do for a team that is really, really talented but questioning themselves a little bit, I would expect a confident, high-flying team tonight.
This portion of this match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered, and a foul whistle against Mitch Osmond. Or was it an offside flag that went up? My apologies. Mitch did nothing wrong. My apologies, young Mitchell. Second-year player for the Indy 11. And Patty Barrett, who had the game winner against Sporting Kansas City 2 weeks ago, standing over this one. Thompson's come out and make the read and does so. Dumas the target. But how about that on the restart?
I tell you, I love it. And you could see he was looking for something. He was looking for something, and Dumas sees him. They make eye contact, and he delivers a great ball.
Let's make sure he's okay. This young man, again, he's so talented at the age of 18. He did deal with a back injury that cost him a lot of time a season ago. And he left Southern Indiana before he entered the 8th grade to play at the academy level. Good back pressure that time by Montpremier to dispossess Pasher. And then Duke now will distribute it forward. And Hackshaw will knock it back to Jordan Farr And away from the sprinting Dominic Recitar. Kuich with some pressure by Moon, able to distribute backwards to Brooks Thompson. Kuich has started every match this year for Sporting Kansas City 2. And that's it. He's the only guy that has now started all 5 matches for this team. Although, because of the MLS is Back tournament, as Thompson makes a rather unforced miscue there has been less participation from guys on the MLS roster than there normally would be on this 2 team. So largely it's been the same group that Nagamura has had now for these last 4 games. Sporting Kansas City saw their MLS is Back tournament run end on Thursday night when they were beaten by the Philadelphia Union. That tournament will hit the semifinal round after the conclusion of 2 matches tonight. Dumas gives chase, but does give pressure, will not get there in time. Goal kick coming. Fans, since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Had a chance to read more about Brooks Thompson's story in the News and Tribune out of Southern Indiana. There was a nice feature written about him on Tuesday, since he had a chance to play in front of some friends and family in Louisville last weekend. Harris couldn't corral that one. Ask for a handball, don't get it. Now Osman's got to go on the sprint. Able to slow up Montpremier just enough. Montpremier plays it back towards the middle and probably picked the wrong side. Had less traffic if he had taken it towards his left foot.
Yeah, that's where you got to check your shoulder as well. Kenny Walker's making a great recovery run to apply some back pressure, and Montpremier runs right into it.
Good flick here. This is Cerna. And Cerna from a similar position set up the first goal on Wednesday. Ball swept to the side by Barrett. Throw in coming for SKC2. Cerna, one of the 2 veterans on this Sporting Kansas City 2 roster. Spent 6 years with the Colorado Rapids. Over 100 appearances at the Major League Soccer level. The other is the team captain in Christian Duke, who is now spending his 7th season playing in the USL Championship. Other than that, you get a lot of young 20-somethings on the field and a couple of 18-year-olds in Thompson and Jake Davis.
And you referenced with the MLS bubble that Sporting wasn't dropping players down to help, which, you know, in a traditional year they might. And so while you don't like that on the competitive side, because you want to have, you know, as much talent as you can, it is a benefit to all these guys growing up a little bit.
Good spell of possession here for Sporting Kansas City 2. But a giveaway by Davis.
I tell you, Harris is going to be something. He's already a handful right now.
He had 12 goals last year at the age of 19. Throw-in coming for Sporting Kansas City 2. Fans, the Cliff Bar Banking Company Indianapolis is proud to team up with the Indy 11 to support the Little Wish Foundation. The more miles run by Tyler Gibson and Iose, the more money that is raised, courtesy of the good folks at the Cliff Bar Banking Company. And Iose available for selection off the bench tonight. The job that Antley and King have done filling in for that duo the last week or so has been outstanding. And Farr quickly had to spray that one 40 yards up the park.
That was a tough ball from the very beginning. The ball that was sent over to Hackshaw was a tough one for him to handle, and sent the bouncing ball back to Jordan, and he did what he could with it.
This portion of this match brought to us by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Indiana, a state that works. That ball will be just out of the edge of play. Montpremier could not get there in time. You see Mitch, his 2nd year with the Indy 11. Played his collegiate soccer at the NAIA level at a couple of different stops. Gibson got there first, played the ball. Player is down. Let's see if we'll have a stop. Right now the answer is no. And pressure by Rad to knock that ball away. It will be a Sporting Kansas City 2 throw-in, and now we will stop action to make sure that Montpremier spent time with FC Tulsa a year ago when they were known as the Tulsa Roughnecks. Take a look at what happened here. And again, there was contact there, sure, but ruling was that Gibson played the ball and Montpremier kind of rolled that ankle, almost trying to avoid Gibson here. For Montpremier, he has now played in all 5 matchups so far this year for Sporting Kansas City 2. Does not have a goal, but does have an assist. Somewhat surprising given the tempo at which this team has played at. All of their games have been rather low-scoring games. 1-0, 2-1 have been the combination so far for SKC2. Bit of a nervous moment there by far, but Harris is in an offside position. So a couple of distributions have been a bit rough for Jordan so far in his first match action of this season. This is Jordan's 3rd year with the club due to a shoulder injury. Never appeared in a match in his rookie year in 2018. Like we said earlier, 10 starts last year. 12 total appearances for Jordan. But you really, if you're Martin Rennie in the month of August, no need to kind of balance your lineup because you've got plenty of rest in between games. You play each of the next 2 Saturdays, then you have 11 days off. You then have 10 days off before the next match.
And one big question that you always have as a coach is, hey, on paper we got depth. I like what we've got, but when push comes to shove and when the chips are on the table, can we navigate that? And you look at the injuries to Jose and Howarth, and you know how King and Antley have stepped in. This team has navigated the injuries incredibly well.
Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive Indiana Members Credit Union Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online today at imcu.com. Harris called for the foul. Hackshaw showing fantastic speed and matching him step for step to get to that ball first. Hackshaw leads the USL Championship in completed passes so far this year. Offside flag went up for Moon. The Indy 11 have 4 of the top 6 in terms of passes completed so far this year. What does that stat tell you?
Well, when you take a look at who they are positionally,
Long ball here that Recitar.
Then you can take a look back and start saying, okay, this is a team that along the back line does a really good job of building. You balance risk and reward from your back third to your front third. You want your safer plays, your safer passes, your higher percentages on the back line, and you can take a few more chances when you're moving away from goal.
Those numbers, by the way, Hackshaw over 400 completed passes in 6 matchups. Carl Wilmette tied for 3rd, Tyler Gibson 5th, Patty Barrett 6th. In passes completed. By the way, Carl Wilmette just getting a breather tonight. His first night that he has not been a starter this season. He is available as a substitute in case he's needed for head coach Martin Rennie.
All right, Statman, what game is he sitting on right now?
Carl Wilmette,
yep.
As in numbers he has played for the Indy 11.
Where is he on that list?
Right around 70 at this point. He, Matt Watson, and Iose are all kind of in that similar territory, being in their 3rd year with the club.
Oh, great
Here
touch.
Goes Pasher trying to cut back. Well done by Kuich. But the most dangerous moments, not surprisingly, is when Tyler Pasher has been found in space so far in this matchup. And that'll be a foul on Antley. as he and Cerna collide. Don't miss an action, or don't miss a moment of action in 2020. Sign up today for ESPN Plus. Get alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Indy 11. Click the follow button. Keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on Indy's next match. Go to ESPN.com and click the follow button for your club.
That's confidence right there. Hackshaw's got a man in front. He can see. He knows there's a man behind him. And he's got the confidence on this driven ball and on the same page with Jordan Farr to head it back and keep possession.
And Dumas got a bit lucky that time because that was a poor pass, but there was a jersey tug, and so the ball comes back as Davis, beaten, reaches out with the pull. Of the various different colleges that we have seen represented for the Indy 11, first time a member of the Fighting Irish have played for the boys in blue, and Pasher whistled for a foul. We have seen, let's see, IUPUI, Butler, Indiana University many times over at this point, Notre Dame all represented, having played for the Indy 11. Not to mention some guys at the small college level, DePaul University, Indiana Wesleyan, and even with Mitch Osmond, Calumet College of St. Joseph has had a player play for the Indy 11. Moon didn't go after that because, again, he felt he was in an offside position, but now he can pressure Thompson on the distribution. Cerna to Premier.
Good double. You got Tyler Gibson taking away the central pass. You got Connor Entley coming back to apply some back pressure, taking away the ball back to Cerna.
Moon had an opportunity, couldn't make the turn. He was our guest on Soccer Saturday this morning on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan after his first Indy 11 goal. Also joined by Butler head coach Paul Snape and Martin Running on today's show. You can listen anytime when you go to the podcast page at 1075thefan.com. Harris with the left foot doesn't get through, and it will be a throw for Sporting Kansas City 2.
Tell you, Harris is deceptive. He's got the build and kind of the look of a traditional target player, but unbelievable pace and good technically in tight spaces.
Build-wise, looks like Jordan Morris of the Seattle Sounders, doesn't he? Very similar build. Just agree with me.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, he does.
Men's national team thought you may have seen him play a couple of times before. But the fact that he scored 17 professional goals at the age of 20
unreal
catches your attention. Native of Los Angeles. Good looking ball here.
Oh.
Just couldn't settle it, and Farr didn't have to play it. So he has been so successful at this level, but again, he has got a quality team in front of him on the Major League Soccer side. What do you see from his game? You say, okay, this is the next step or two you've got to take to be a regular contributor in MLS.
I've got to tell you, I think he's there. I think his pace is there. I think his finishing is there. And you take a look at all the stuff. I mean, his pressure defensively, he's understanding the right angles and the right lanes in which to press the ball. So then you got to take a look at what's their plan. What's their long-term plan up at the first team? Do they have somebody they're happy with right now? Is there not room? Are they building him and grooming him, giving him more experience so when his time comes, he's more polished?
If that ball from Harris got through to Montpremier, he was in on Jordan Farr. That ball ricochets off the face of Cam Lindley. Very evenly played match so far, which again is what we expected, despite the 12-point difference in these two teams in the standings.
Oh, what a touch.
Touch by Pasher, finds some space, has Moon to his right. Pasher with the left foot, does not get through. Will be a corner for the Indy 11. This portion of this match presented to you by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
And I tell you what, this is the second time that Kuich has gambled on a ball leaving space unprotected behind him, and both times Pasher has just missed getting in.
So first corner of the match, and it will be Lindley that will take the corners. Again, normally Ioze or Haworth Lindley is third on that depth chart for the former basketball player locally at Guerin Catholic High School. Dumas the target. Does Antley give it a blast? They simply tried to settle back into the top of the 18. Sporting Kansas City 2 had it covered. Pasher knocked the turf by Montpremier. This is a nervy moment here. Recitar scrambles. Harris trying to stay on side. Recitar's shot blocked.
Oh, Tyler Gibson, well done. On an island with two guys, cut off the ball to Harris.
And Walker, that's his second shot block. And Walker has had minimal playing time so far this year. And this is a guy that was a big piece of last year's Indy 11, not to mention a key component of a fantastic FC Cincinnati team 2 years ago. Walker has played to earn a little more minutes so far tonight.
Yeah, it's incredible to come from that kind of a resume over the past couple seasons, and I think it speaks to the talent that Indy 11 has on the roster and the versatility that they can play different guys in different areas, and it's great to see him get some minutes tonight.
And he's in for Drew Connor. Again, Connor available for selection off the bench. Connor was outstanding, and not just in scoring a goal on Wednesday.
It's a great look. It's a
Montpremier
great look.
Onside. Ball played across, nobody there. Good hustle, but Recitar can't get there in time. It will be a goal kick for Jordan Farr.
Such an impressive look. You got Connor Antley drawn up a little bit. Montpremier is sitting out here on the island. I think Osmond is keeping him onside because of how he's drawn into the center, and that ball was just driven into space for him.
And we saw this 2 weeks ago. High pressure immediately from Sporting Kansas City 2. We saw it from Hartford on Wednesday, but Hartford simply couldn't keep up in the second half with said pressure.
No, I'll tell you what, it's a great decision to play that way, but you have to get one early because you can't maintain that pressure for 90 minutes. And if you don't and you keep exposing the space behind your back line, you're going to get burned.
And for both these teams, this is the third match in an 8-day span. For Indy, it's the third match in a 7-day span. So again, you wonder how much will be left in the legs come the end of the evening for either of these two teams.
Yeah, and they've done a pretty good job of managing their minutes. You take a look at game against Lou City and some of the subs that they've made. They've had, guys go 30 minutes, 45 minutes and rest. So, while they've had 3 games in a short window, they've also had some rest for some guys. And you take a look, how long can they maintain the press? When do they call it off? One of the things when you do high press, like both Hartford and here Sporting are doing.
What a takeaway by Moon.
Kidding.
Moon's got Pasher to his left. Tries to play it across. Walker can give it a go from this distance. Elects not to. Pasher knew he was offside, didn't play it.
So one of the things when you commit, whether it's Hartford or Sporting Kansas City 2 here, to pressing so high up the field, you have to bring your midfield tucked in behind him. You have to bring your back line up because you can't give the passing space for them to break out of that press. And what that does is that exposes the space behind your back line. You can't defend everything. You can't take everything away from a team. You got to give up something. And when you decide to press high, you're giving up some space behind you.
Ball played across. Duke couldn't get there. Antley got there first. Showing why he was the defender of the year in USL League One last year, playing for Tormenta FC. Fellow League One alumnus Moon plays this to Pasher. Well read by Kuich, and Thompson was charging off his line in case necessary.
And I tell you what, a great pickup by Antley on that last play. Here he's playing the outside right midfield spot, and he recognizes a run coming down the center, and he tucks in behind Osman and is able to win that ball in traffic.
We will have a hydration break coming up here in a matter of moments, even though we are playing indoors this evening. And I'm not sure the temperature ever got above 75 degrees in Indianapolis today anyway, with gray skies and rain. But that will be standard operating procedure for the remainder of this season, not to mention 5 subs available for both coaching staffs tonight as well. Of course, this match is brought to us by Keystone Construction. It's more than construction. We build a vision. Opportunity here for the give and go. Monpremier right at the midst of Jordan Farr.
Solid. That looks like an easy save. That's not an easy save. That's a really difficult one, and it takes great technique to get down there, get your hands behind the ball and your elbows together.
Indy 11 has been dominant this year, as evidenced by their record. As evidenced by the amount of shots they have fired, 100 through 6 matchups. The fact they lead the league in goals scored as well. They have also controlled possession in most matches. That has not been the case tonight. It's been very even from a possession standpoint. Now Antley with the run going. But Osman's serve is just a bit off. Last save effort by Jordan Farr as the hydration break takes hold.
Yeah, unfortunate turnover, some great interplay in between. And you look, it's so difficult. You cannot get your legs behind the ball when you're going down into that forward dive. You have to get your arms behind it, and it's important to keep those elbows together.
There's some guys in masks doing some serious coaching on that sideline that aren't coaches. You've got Matt Watson, Iose, and Evan Newton all lined up as reserves this evening that can be providing pointers to their teammates.
Imagine, so I don't know, these things don't exist, but imagine if you could take like the internet, and you go and search all of the games and all of the situations that and the questions and problems that these guys have solved on the field. There is not anything that those guys probably have not seen in their careers.
Andy Swift, the Indy 11 goalkeeping coach, also talking up Jordan Farr. There you see Brooks Thompson. His birthplace is listed as Jefferson, Indiana. I thought that was simply a typo, that it was Jeffersonville because he grew up in Floyd's Knobs. No, he is from Jefferson, Indiana, which is officially a spot in the road west of Frankfort. So he actually was born northwest of here, but grew up in southern Indiana.
Where's Frankfort? You say that like that's a iconic city that I should know right off the top of my head.
Their nickname for their athletic teams, Brad, the Hot Dogs.
That's
the Frankfurt
awesome.
Hot Dogs.
The Frankfurters.
The gymnasium at Frankfurt High School was the gymnasium used for the movie Blue Chips for the Western University Dolphins. Yes, sir.
I'm hungry now.
See if you can find you a hot dog at halftime.
There's got to be one around here somewhere.
There usually is. All right, so back to live action, and enough of my movie references from 1994.
What's crazy is you don't only know athletic sports staffs in every sport, you know statistics and information from movies and TV shows about sports.
I don't get out much, Brad. Good pressure there by the Indy 11.
Tell you, one of the things you look at when a team does press is how well do they do it as a unit. When that front line steps up and it's the right time to step up, the midfield is sliding right in behind and the back line is connected with them.
It's a sport.
They're making it really difficult to play through them.
It's a Sporting Kansas City 2 team that won just 6 times last year. But historically, they have been very good in this level. Reached the conference finals in 2016 and 2017. Run made here by Felicien Dumas. Left foot, Thompson couldn't corral it completely. Corner kick coming. And Felicien nearly had his first professional goal in his 3rd match.
Kenny Walker. How about that ball? I'll tell you what, too. And you know what he does? He not only knocks this incredible ball over the top to create this great scoring chance, but and this leads to a great opportunity. Immediately, he turns to Connor Antley and apologizes because Connor Antley was wide open on the right. He had 2 options that were great at sending Indy in, and he knew both of them in his head.
Lindley sends it in. Thompsoning it all of it. Barrett heads it up and over the bar. It'll be a goal kick coming for Sporting Kansas City 2. Well, that's the type of player that Indy 11 acquired from FC Cincinnati. 4 players that didn't make the jump with Cincinnati to Major League Soccer last year made their way up I-74. Patty Barrett, Evan Newton, Tyler Gibson, and Kenny Walker.
You're 6 matches in. You haven't played much, and you're wondering how much rust is on those boots. Not much.
He officially had played 1 minute this season coming into tonight.
Oh.
But that is an idea of just how crazy deep this Indy 11 team is.
Wow, are you kidding me, Patty Barrett?
And that'll be a foul against Walker, and immediately extends his hand and apologizes.
That's 2 apologies within 2 minutes. That might be the most polite player on the field right now. You keep stats on that stuff?
Kenny isn't often that guy either. He is a hard-nosed competitor, let's put it that way. There's Cerna, the flick forward.
You know, we saw them here a couple weeks ago. It was like these guys do not play like a really, really young team.
Right.
The ideas, the thoughts, the creativity.
Run going forward here that Barrett had covered. Harris was the target on the ball from Cerna. Again, Cerna had the assist on the opening goal. And then a misstep by Duke allows that one to play through. Duke wearing the captain's armband. He was the team captain for Sporting Kansas City 2 in their Swope Park Rangers days. Their successful playoff runs in 16 and 17. Then Duke spent the last 2 years playing for Orange County out in the Western Conference. Duke is a local product. He's from Overland Park, Kansas. And then a clattering as Lindley is bowled over by Mr. Duke. The Indiana Economic Development Corporation, a proud supporter of the Indy 11. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. 2 weeks ago, when Sporting Kansas City 2 was here, Cam Lindley was celebrating his 23rd birthday that day. Opportunity here, and Harris a bit unlucky. Didn't locate that ball cleanly, and the ball found him off his leg, or he's in on goal.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, a great decision in transition.
What a ball to find Pasher. Pasher's got Dumas to his left. Plays it to Lindley instead. Walker is a safety valve. Nice touch to Pasher. And Pasher couldn't flick it past Barbier. These two teams have largely matched each other step for step so far. One other game in the group tonight. It does not kick off until 8:30 Eastern time. St. Louis heads out of the group, but heads just down the river to take on Memphis this evening, as Lou City has the evening off. In fact, Lou City is now off until Indy 11 visits Lynn Family Stadium for the first time next Saturday.
You never want those long times off after a loss like they had.
And we'll talk more at halftime about their new home has not been too kind to Lou City so far. They are 1-3 in that new stadium.
And they're playing great.
Yeah. They've got a lot of chip paint on goalposts so far.
Oh my goodness. And statistically, I mean, like, they're out shooting teams, 19-2 to St. Louis.
Antley, right idea. He and Moon is not on the same page there. So if Indy can get 3 points here, they can enter that match at Louisville 12 points ahead.
Ridiculous.
Of the
7 games
three-time defending Eastern Conference champions. Also crazy to think that after tonight, the Indy 11 have just 9 regular season matches left to go.
Yeah. It's like we just started.
Well, we did.
Yeah, I know. That's what I just said.
Good idea. No overlapping run to support it.
And I tell you, that's going to be an effective way for Indy 11 also, is finding the feet of Moon and Pasher, giving them some support underneath where they can drop a ball off and then run into space. That ball to Moon or Pasher is going to commit the back line to stay on there, on them defensively and open up more space behind. If they can find Lindley, if they can find Dumas, if they can find Antley right in behind her, Kenny Walker for just that give and go like we saw from We Met last game.
Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of the first half is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. As it stands now, we may have the fewest minutes of added time at the end of the first half we have seen this year. We had about 2 minutes of a water break. That's about it. And there have been minimal stoppages so far in this opening 45 minutes.
I was playing the trivia game on the queue with you before the game, and my guess for cards was 3+. So
we're 3 away from that right now.
I'm going to have to hope for a physical second half.
It usually plays out that way. Walker thought Pash was going to make the run. Now Harris.
Wow.
And that'll be a foul on Walker. Got just enough of Cerna to draw the whistle.
And that's such a dangerous, nice new part of the game, are these outside backs that are so technical that they get forward very well and stress the defending teams.
Restart from back around the 40-yard line here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Jahan Rad was going to take the restart. Instead, it will be Barb Beer that will come up and spray it to the other side of the park. We saw Jahan's twin brother Cave last time when these two teams were here. Those two young men, both 19 years of age. Good win by Walker. Not out of danger yet. Gibson sprays it a little bit forward. And on the sliding tackle, last touch by Davis. And Davis not happy about the whistle going against him. Keystone Construction, a proud supporter of the Indy 11. Keystone Construction, it's more than construction. We build a vision. Hackshaw will simply buy some real estate with that ball. Really credit Sporting Kansas City too. They have negated the offense of the Indy 11 as well as any team has in 7 matches so far this year. Indy 11, 13 goals through 6 matches played. Antley goes to the turf. Official says, nope, not enough there. Keep going. But then Sporting Kansas City 2 gives it right back. Right now, the goals per game average for the Indy 11 about 2.2. Their previous high in club history, 1.6.
Unbelievable.
Over the course of a season. Gibby knocks that ball sideways, but Lindley was the target. Couldn't get there. Kuwich got there instead. Good looking ball from Osmond. Lindley couldn't keep it at his feet. And Gibson draws the whistle for carving out space a bit too aggressively against the Sporting Kansas City 2 player. That is Rad that draws the whistle. Jahan and Cave Rad, Durham, North Carolina. So there are 4 teenagers on the field for Sporting Kansas City 2 tonight. Throw in coming for Indy. Then again, and I was reminded of this, and Sporting Kansas City fans will also get this reference quickly. It's a match here a couple of years ago, into the season against Bethlehem Steel, where they played 7 teenagers. And you just go, I don't know about tonight. That night, Indy 11 were lucky to get a point.
I remember that one well. I was shocked.
And the best player in the field was Brendan Aronson. who had an assist on Thursday night for the Philadelphia Union against Sporting Kansas City, and is likely headed to Europe in the very near future for a nice transfer fee for the Philadelphia Union. By the way, as expected, minimal stoppage time, just 2 minutes with a water break left before we go to halftime. Moon leaves it for Lindley. That ball inadvertently knocked back to Thompson. If you're Martin Rennie right now, what are you thinking about half one, and what's your message to your guys at halftime?
Well, I think defensively, you've just got to make sure that guys are locked in on the transition game. No easy turnovers, and making sure that you get numbers back. Going forward, I think you've got a really similar situation to what you saw against Hartford, where you've got opportunities to get that ball out wide and look for that early serve in behind the high back line. Right now, there's a lot of play just trying to go over it, where I think you can go through it with a little give and go into the feet of Moon or Pasher.
Trying to find a channel to Lindley, and the turf bounce eluded both he and Kuich. Cameron in 25 games with Memphis a year ago, a goal and 7 assists. Still time for one push forward here. Dumas with a good run going forward. Dumas gives it a go and sprays it wide left of the near post.
25 yards out, rough angle. Not a bad shot.
For Felicien, he was about to be signed the week before the second game for the Indy 11, when it was supposed to be played on March the 14th. Had to wait 4 months.
It's going to be a long 4 months. Can you imagine if you came down Christmas morning and your parents said, hey, we're going to do this in March?
That's the end of an evenly played half number one. 0-0 the score through 45 minutes. What changes, if any, do you expect to see, Brad, in half number two?
Well, I'd like to see a little bit less direct, maybe a little bit more combination to freeze the backs and then play guys through. And I'd love to see, very similar to what we saw with Macca King and Nick Moon, a ball sprayed out wide and then just an early serve bent in behind that back run that you can get guys to run through and play in.
Neither of these teams have a draw yet in terms of a result this season, but they are playing to a flat-footed tie, 0-0, through 45 minutes of play. The Indy 11 looking for a 12th straight home win, a 29th consecutive home match without a loss. Right now it's goalless at Lucas Oil Stadium here on Wish TV and ESPN+.
Indy 11 fans, don't miss out on tonight's merch of the match. The IXI t-shirt, available at the Indy 11 shop, located behind each goal on the main concourse. Let's make it happen. Which one is best from the start?
Back at halftime here at Lucas Oil Stadium, 0-0. Indy 11 and Sporting Kansas City 2 as the Indy 11 wrap up a stretch of 5 matches in 15 days. They have won 3 of the previous 4. Can they find another goal or more coming up in half number 2? Time at halftime now for our look around the league. Our USL news and notes. Miami FC had not played since March 7th. They gave up 4 goals in their first match, gave up 4 goals in their second match. Atlanta United 2. Midweek wins a 4-3 thriller in the northern suburbs of Atlanta. There are 11 matches scheduled for tonight, just 1 tomorrow. Hartford Athletic still in first place in Group F after their first loss of the season here in Indy on Wednesday night. They take on Loudoun United. You can catch that on ESPN+. And Birmingham Legion FC had a special edition game-worn jersey that they sold for charity to fans and raised more than $9,000 with that money going to the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. Time now for a further look around the championship and the USL Academy. Let's do that right now.
A critical player development strategy within the USL Academy League model is player promotion through each player registration status. Through this process, top young talent will continually be challenged by playing up with older players, and the best players will eventually integrate into the USL senior team environment. Player promotion begins through the talent identification process, where top U15 through U19 players from the youth network will be evaluated under the philosophy that if you're good enough, you're old enough. Once a player excels in the USL Academy League, they will be given the opportunity to integrate into a senior team environment. As they assimilate and meet senior team standards, USL Championship and League One clubs will be able to offer the most talented players professional or amateur contracts with their senior team. This mechanism is especially key, as it provides the players ready to go pro with a direct path to do so. Clubs in League 2 will use their senior team to provide their top young talents experience with college-age players during the summer. Players signing amateur contracts at any of these levels are provided the chance to experience the senior team level of play at a young age, while still maintaining their college eligibility. By pushing more top young players across the US into professional environments, the USL will play a key role in improving the overall level of the elite American player, ultimately helping us reach, if not exceed, our potential as a soccer nation at the international level. For more information, visit usl-academy.com.
The United Soccer League and its 47th championship in League One clubs stand united in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create change. Together, we are united against racism.
Our out-of-town scoreboard brought to us by Crown Plaza, Indianapolis, downtown. Let them assist you with your next meeting or event. North Carolina, 0-0. We get to halftime. Not surprisingly, after back-to-back losses, Pittsburgh, as if they were shot out of a cannon. A brace for Steven Dos Santos, 3-0. They lead Philadelphia Union 2.
Do not get on the wrong side of Bob Lilly.
We've seen that in this building before. It does not go well. Memphis and St. Louis again play later tonight with a couple of Western Conference matchups as well, especially OKC Energy and New Mexico United. That is a late start coming up this evening at 10:30. There you go, our out-of-town scoreboard brought to us by Crown Plaza, Indianapolis, downtown. Next couple of opponents now for the Indy 11. In fact, here are their next 5 games they have coming up.
Ouch.
They are at Welcome to playing in this division. Lou City next Saturday night. We'll have that one for you at 8 o'clock. In fact, we'll have every match for you the remainder of the season, either on Wish TV or My Indy TV. At Louisville, home to Pittsburgh, then Louisville again. Then you've got Louisville a second time. So the next 4 matchups, you're talking about teams that finished in the top 4 of the Eastern Conference last year.
I'm a silver lining guy. So when I look at that mountain you got to climb, the silver lining is the amount of space you have in between them for rest, for preparation, to throw in some new wrinkles.
Basically, 4 times in a span of 7 matches, you're playing Lou City. Again, and with all this restart talk in the divisions, you knew going to be a lot of Indy and Louisville. That time is finally upon us as of next Saturday. And you referenced some real estate. Indy 11, 6 points clear of St. Louis. And again, It's early, but it's late at the same time. Louisville is not currently in a playoff position. That catches your attention.
But they're playing great, and as they continue to find their rhythm and find some confidence, even at home, I mean that's a place that's had a dark spot for them right now. But you play them a lot if you're Indy 11 down the stretch, and you're just hoping to delay that rhythm.
The Indy 11 last victory against Louisville City, May of 2018. It has been a while for the Indy 11. They'll have a chance some 7 days from now. Highlights, stats, and head coach Martin Running when we come back on Wish TV.
Sport Campus, the official training facility for Indy 11 is more than sports. With 400 acres of
Indy 11 gear preferred, masks are required inside of Lucas Oil Stadium. No goals yet between Indy 11 and Sporting Kansas City 2. Again, thanks for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer here on Wish TV and ESPN Plus, alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. We will hear from head coach Martin Running coming up in just a matter of moments. We'll get to some halftime highlights as well. Again, Brad, overall impressions of half number one.
Loved it. I loved it from both sides. I think if you're Indy 11, one of the things that you have to be concerned about, especially because Sporting KC2 just came off of a victory in a turnover in the transition game, is don't get too comfortable. You have good ideas in the attacking third. You're creating some opportunities. You're just missing, but all it takes is one opportunity.
Well, no goals to show you in tonight's matchup, but again, plenty of back and forth action. And again, the best looks for the Indy 11, not surprisingly, come when Tyler Pasher can find some space.
Yeah, I'll tell you, so dangerous. This is such a great ball going far post, using the defender a bit as a screen. Thompson was just up for the task.
And there's been plenty of good possession outside of the 18 for Sporting Kansas City too, but not really a nervous moment yet for Jordan Farr.
No, you've got those pre-nervous moments. They've almost been there.
Here's Pasher again trying to find just a nook, a cranny, a window, and that one deflected. Did set up a corner. Nothing yet off those corners for the Indy 11.
Yeah, he's so dangerous, though. He can create whether he's in a group, and he can certainly create when he's got space in a 1v1.
Frankly, the game plan for these two teams has not been all that different. It's been the long ball over the top that created the best looks so far. Fredinho Montpremier played that ball across and did not have a corresponding run with it. And again, if there's a giveaway by the back line, it could lead to a quick chance for Sporting Kansas City 2 here. Farr able to make the routine stop in front of his own net.
Yeah, they have so many dangerous pieces, you just can't relax on them.
Pasher the lead for Walker.
That's a one-touch ball.
Great ball, and again, Thompson, there was a small window there, closed it down and led to a corner. without, again, much result there for the Indy 11. And again, the number that catches my attention, shots are even, possession actually in favor of Sporting Kansas City 2. That is a number that the Indy 11 have rarely trailed in this year.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the one that catches my eye is shots. This is the first time we've sat here at halftime with a team even in shots with Indy 11.
Indy has 100 shots on the season coming in. That's 19 more than the next closest team. So while we said late in the half, hey, really credit Sporting Kansas City too. They have done maybe even more than St. Louis did in Indy's loss last Sunday to take Indy out of their offensive game.
And when you look at it, when you're coming in to play a team, you're trying to gain every advantage you can. You're watching tape, you're looking at numbers, you're trying to find analytics and trends. And when you know as a goalkeeper and as a back line that you're going to have to defend 15 to 20 shots tonight.
Let's go to the field because Martin Running is standing by with us now. Coach, your overall impressions on the opening 45 minutes of play?
Yeah, it's a tight game, hard game. Not too many chances really for either team. But second half we'll look to freshen up a little bit, get some more running power in there, and then see if we can impose ourselves a little bit more on the game.
Looks like Drew Connor might be going in early here in half number 2, Coach.
Yeah, Drew Connor and Ilya Illich, so get both of them on there. Kenny and Nick did a great job, but this is our 5th game in 14 days, so we're going to use everybody that we can.
What'd you see from Kenny in half number 1?
I thought he did well. He won a lot of balls, played well on the ball. It's his first time he's played for a little while, so he gave us a great 45.
Coach, thank you. We'll see you in the postgame.
All right, thank you.
So already 2 substitutions for the Indy 11. Again, Nick Moon was asked to start tonight. He had started and played extensively against St. Louis on Sunday, against Hartford on Wednesday, so I kind of figured his minutes might be reduced tonight. But here comes Connor, here comes Illich. Again, Walker was impressive, but clearly Indy not feeling he's 90 minutes fit just yet.
No, but I tell you what, I like the move with Ilya Illich coming in right now, especially with some near misses in getting Pasher through. He's such a great possession and creative player, and because you bring Drew Connor in along with him, you've got somebody behind him that can do some of that dirty work in winning the ball.
Well, frankly, what Walker can do from a creative distribution standpoint, Illich does the same things. And let's remember, the game winner against Sporting Kansas City 2 weeks ago, the assist on that one belonged to Ilya Illich. So already 2 of the 5 substitutions have been used by the boys in blue. Lindley earns a throw-in just next to the corner flag. So again, Ioze, Matt Watson, Evan Newton, Carl Ouimet, and Andrew Carlton, the other potential selections for Martin Running off the bench in tonight's game. Gibson racing back to prevent a transition opportunity for Sporting Kansas City 2. Long diagonal ball, good read by Sporting Kansas City 2. This is our first extended look at Felicien Dumas. Thoughts on what he's brought to the table in the first half?
I've been impressed. I tell you, he's had a couple of nice balls in combination with Tyler Pasher, and he's not afraid to pull the trigger no matter what angle or distance he's at. I think that gives another threat going forward.
This portion of this match, well, before we finish that thought, Lindley has a chance to latch onto this one. Thompson spills it. Couldn't save it cleanly, but kept it away from Lindley.
Yeah, there was a little bit of hesitation. I think Thompson, he comes out for that in the very beginning, and it doesn't wind up that close.
This portion of this match presented by the Denny Company, tearing down the past so you can build the future. And Illich commits a foul and immediately offers his hands to Dylan Cerna in apology. Here's Ilya, 4 years with Louisville City, a pair of championships with Lou City. Missed about half of last year due to injury. He did not play the 2 road matches last week while he was on paternity leave. The dummy by Recitar, the flick by Harris doesn't find him. Already on display, the creativity of Illich with a little back heel flick, trying to find Cam Lindley. And Harris is in an offside spot. The Sporting Kansas City 2 team, part of what is nearly now a season-long road trip. They will play 1 home match against the OKC Energy. That is in 3 weeks. Everything else is on the road. Good job by Illich. Davis with the sliding tackle. Sends it across the touchline.
Great look.
Dumas on the diagonal.
Oh,
Looking back post, headed down, but not on frame. And that's a look we don't see for Tyler Pasher, trying to head one on goal.
No, but what vision from Dumas to see him and then be able to find that spot.
Outstanding ball. One of the best build-ups we've seen from the Indy 11 tonight.
And it comes from the width. You push it out wide, shift them over, push it back out to the other side. It's going to create some channels and some opportunities.
Far with the long distance ball. Giveaway here. Antley. Right idea. What a flick by Illich. Just couldn't get it through. Barbier got in the way. Great read by Osmond. Osmond having played in both matches in Lindley. Fouled by Rad, and that'll be our first card of the match.
Okay, that's one. There's one. Let me mark that down.
So the yellow shown by Jahan Rad, or shown to Jahan Rad. By the way, it's been such a whistle-free match. We've not mentioned our officiating crew tonight. Youssef El Masusi is our referee. You take a look at the foul right here. Art Arustamai and Matthew Rodman are assistant referees, and Nabil Ben Salah is our fourth official.
And this is one of the things that Illich brings into the match. He's got like 7 sets of eyes on that head of his. So when that ball's coming in, he's locked in on 6 other guys while he's watching the ball. And he can flick, he can hold up, he can combine, he can finish.
So Lindley looking for the distribution here. Back post and airmails everybody. Indy 11 Premium Suites are the perfect way to entertain your guests. Learn more at Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100. Opportunity here. This is Davis charging forward. Davis, the leave for Harris.
Oh.
And Farr falls off everybody.
Oh my, and that's what you got to be careful of. Here is this quick transit. They get a goal kick. Boom, they put it down. They find Davis in the middle of the field. He's got 30 yards to be able to advance that ball.
Osmond boots it some 70 yards down the park. He and Pash are not on the same page. In every game that Sporting Kansas City 2 has played this year has been a 1-goal game. And they have all been of the low-scoring variety. They've either won 2-1 or lost 1-0 or 2-1. And we referenced that example of the Bethlehem Steel a couple of years ago, how literally after that match, I have a couple of friends that work in the broadcast department for the Philadelphia Union. I said, you guys have some serious talent heading your way in the next couple of years. You feel the same way here about Sporting Kansas City, too.
Absolutely. I think in every position they've got some strength.
Good looking flick forward here. Davis couldn't find Resitar, and Hackshaw will shepherd that ball across the byline for a goal kick. For standings, stats, or the latest league news, be sure to visit USLsoccer.com.
I'll tell you what, early on in the match, there was a little knock to Thompson where he got up a little bit gingerly. And on all the balls that they're playing back to him for possession, he is keeping it primarily on his right foot, even though a left-footed option to keep that ball moving is available to him. I think if the 11 can bait a couple balls back in and then run at his right foot and force him on the left, you're going to get some turnovers out of that.
Opportunity here. Cerna leads the charge for Kansas City. Finds Montpremier out to the left side. Plays it in. Osmond steers it away, and Illich trying to spring. Pasher finds him on the hop. 1v2. That's like 3 less than when he was in Pittsburgh. Pasher trying to find a seam. Here comes a third defender back. And now he will settle to Gibson. That'll be a throw in for the Indy 11. Good block job by Dumas to play that off of Recitar.
And well played by Sporting KC2 to get some numbers back. You've got Pasher in a 1v2.
And now Pasher, oh, just offside. I thought he was on. Didn't hit the post. Short window against Thompson, but the flag went up. I thought Lindley had held him up just enough to keep him onside. But
I thought so as well.
Our camera work as per usual. Spot on. He was a yard off. Great job by our Tupelo Raycom crew producing tonight's game, as they always do.
Good decision. Harris was reading that ball back to Jordan Farr. Tyler Gibson pulled off of it.
Recitar the flick. Dumas does just enough. And then Harris lands on him. Dumas has to hop up. Rabin plays it across. Ball hit Hackshaw in the shoulder at the edge of the 18. And Lindley decides just to punt this ball about 40 yards and buy some real estate.
Was
off of Illich, it'll be a throw in.
A wee bit stressful there in that moment.
Harris onside. Hackshaw had him lined up perfectly.
See, that's a three-dimensional run by Harris there. He's running at to go in front of Hackshaw, and then at the last minute ducks in behind to get into that space behind where the ball's played in. That's not an easy thing to see. That's three-dimensional kind of off-ball movement.
In 12 goals last year at the age of 19. Tried to play that ball through Barrett. And one thing we have said about guys like Barrett, we met, and Hackshaw the last couple of years, you have to go around them. You're not going to get through them.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you've done any film work, you don't want to try to go through them.
And here's good news for Indy 11 fans. Ioze is headed towards the Indy 11 bench. We're going to see him play for the first time in a couple of weeks. And when you need to find some offense, Ioze is a good guy to go find you some offense.
Well, you look at the moves that Martin has made here in the last 5 minutes, and he's bringing in guys that can hold up the ball, guys that can create, and guys that can play make.
By the way, as Ioze and Matt Watson both putting on fresh kits, that's exactly how Brad and I look at the age of 35 from a fitness standpoint.
35, that's how we look now.
Sure. Ioze and Matt Watson about to make a double substitution. And of note, that means the Indy 11 will have one sub remaining for the last 35 minutes plus of this match. But again, you are on the tail end of the busiest stretch of the year you're going to have. And that'll be a foul on Antley. Bonpremier draws the whistle.
If you can draw 3 points tonight, you put yourself in an amazing position. Really, for both of these clubs. I mean, it's after what Sporting KC2 did in Louisville. They get another 3 points tonight. Look out. They're back in the conversation.
Davis and Cerna stand over this one. 6 in the box for SKC2.
Watch the backside. I don't trust Harris's runs.
Crafty beyond his years, is he not?
He really is. He really is.
We'll focus on him right there. Farr didn't get to it. Ball clipped forward, headed away. And Farr will snare that one. And now sizes up his options and hits the outlet ball to Lindley.
Well defended. All right, got 7 guys back immediately when that ball got into Jordan's hands. You know, we talked about it earlier in the game. They're going to press and they're going to chase up in their attacking third. They're going to give up this space behind them. Things like this are going to happen.
Turns and again, just enough done defensively. That's Kuich that got in the way. Connor at the top of the 18. Now Dumas. Illich wants it back post. Instead, the ball goes to section 126.
Right thought. Right thought.
So here come the substitutions for the Indy 11. Dumas' night is over. Ioze will come in to replace him. So for Io, he gets his 4th game of the season. And for Connor Antley, he is done for the night. Matt Watson, a goal scorer some 3 nights ago, comes in to replace him. Unfortunate for Felicien that his last ball was that one. He did some really good things tonight.
He did. He did.
And Ioze, you hear the thunderous applause. Not that Matt Watson is unliked, though that's the recognition that Ioze is back after 2 weeks away. And here comes the team captain without the armband, and Matt Watson. So basically left and right wingers new for the Indy 11. This match is presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about this Ioze kid. I'm excited to see him play.
He's not bad. Had a goal in the opening match of the season against Memphis 901. Had an assist in the victory against St. Louis, finding Neville Hackshaw. Duke the target here. Both Barrett and Gibson scramble to cover. And that'll be a throw in for the Indy 11. So again, just one substitution available between Andrew Carlton, Evan Newton, and Carl Ouimet for Indy the rest of the way. And now we will see a pair of substitutions coming on here for Sporting Kansas City 2. Jarrett Townsend, who got the start on Wednesday, is set to come in, or at least will at some point in the near future. They're going to say they weren't ready to sub him in just yet. And Enoch Mushagalusa will also be the 2nd substitution to enter for Paulo Nagamura's team.
And I'll tell you what these substitutes for each team mean is that both of these coaches realize the 3 points are available.
Yep.
And they're going for it.
Both Townsend and Mushagalusa were starters on Wednesday in Sporting Kansas City 2's win in Louisville. Hackshaw carves out some space. We see the versatility of Watson on display. Normally more of a central midfielder, but when asked to play further out last year, did an outstanding job. Pasher applied pressure and ruled that he committed the foul against Barbier. And now Townsend and Mushagalusa will be waved on.
And I tell you, you see the sign language coming right now from Ioze, and he is signaling to Watson and Mitch Osman, send me that long ball. He can bring it down, and he knows that he can bend that ball back in behind the elevated back line into the space for Pasher or Illich.
Townsend, a Colorado native, into the contest. Mushagalusa from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Montpremier and Recitar, the players that exit. We're swapping out forwards for forwards here for Sporting Kansas City 2.
Sporting Kansas City 2 in the 61st minute, 99.
And Townsend is a talented player, but Mushagalusa is a difference maker.
Townsend played at the University of Washington.
Kansas City 2 in the 62nd minute. Entering the match.
Mushagalusa did play at the community college level before turning professional.
Leaving the match, 80.
We saw both of those players here 2 weeks ago. Mushagalusa was going to play at the University of South Carolina. Good win there for Sporting Kansas City 2. And not out of danger yet for the Indy 11. But offside flag is up. Townsend, the guilty party. The 3 subs available for Sporting Kansas City 2. 1 for Indy. Ioze couldn't keep that one in play. And these two, after seeing each other twice in 3 weekends, they will not play again until they play here on September the 9th. And once the Indy 11 get to September, they basically play every Wednesday in September here at Lucas Oil Stadium. And Harris is down on the turf, and Pasher will oblige and play that ball to the sideline. And looks like it's just a cramp as Neville Hackshaw offers his training services to the striker.
And like a good opponent, he first went for the healthy leg.
Trying to stretch the one that doesn't need stretching, huh?
I'll tell you, watch these last 25 minutes. Io is begging for the ball when the back line is high. Remember that game? Forget who it was against. You'll know where Io hits that ball from the edge of Indy 11's defensive third to Starikoff over the top.
Bethlehem Steel, October the 6th, 2018. For a 1-1 draw, yes, sir. The game we were referencing in the first half about the teenagers playing for Bethlehem Steel.
You have to go to the DMV, and you need to go and make sure you register as an organ donor, because you have to leave that thing to science.
Yes, I am. Already, but
we need to open it up and see what's in there.
Well, not currently, no. So Harris is getting treated on the field. Harris kind of had a similar situation here 2 weeks ago after scoring a goal. He picked up some cramps and had to exit stage left. He came in the 62nd minute on Wednesday, so in theory, he should be in largely good shape, because he went only 30 minutes or so on Wednesday in Louisville.
He worked so hard.
True. No doubt. This portion of this match brought to us by the Cube. Download the Indy 11 app and play the Indy 11 Cube. Pre and post game, you can play in stadium, and if you're at home or anywhere across the world, sign up and play now. So Sporting Kansas City 2 will do the sporting thing. They will roll the ball back to Jordan Farr as the Indy 11 gave up possession for Harris to be checked out. He is still on the sideline, so briefly SKC 2 is playing a man down. Harris is yet to be waved back on. And now he's welcomed back onto the field, 11v11. Gibson finds Pasher. Pasher just a bit off in that run to make sure he was onside. Another substitute for Sporting Kansas City is getting ready in Mason Leith. Osman with a diagonal ball to Iose. Illich. And now Townsend is onside. Opportunity here. Recovery by Hackshaw is solid. Help by Gibson is even better.
Great recovery by Tyler Gibson.
And then Townsend comes up lame at the end of the play. Long ball played for Pasher. A whistle is given with Townsend down behind the play.
And unfortunately, I think Hackshaw's back heel.
Solar plexus?
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
I think the picture will describe it perfectly.
Yep.
It's the joy of being in television versus radio. Sometimes the pictures describe themselves. So Harris is done. Leith will come on to replace him. Leith is another young product, hometown kid from Kansas City. Leith is 19 years of age. He is an academy
Exiting the match, 96, Wilson Harris.
Player for the Sporting Kansas City 2 team. And Leith is more of, as listed as a defensive player, but is playing up top right now for SKC 2. Barrett and Gibson connect, but Gibson couldn't keep it on his feet. By the way, for Leith, this is his third appearance of the season, but both of his first two appearances on the field have been more of the cameo variety. He has played 17 minutes so far this year.
I'll tell you, 67 minutes into a match during a really busy week, and Tyler Gibson looks like he just got on the field.
The sports this match brought to us by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Indiana, a state that works. A couple of years ago, the Indy 11 played a home match. It was before Tyler was on the team.
October 3rd.
It was May 4th or 5th, actually. But there was a home match that was done like at noon, and the mini marathon was held like that morning. Like, for example, Larry Lindy, who was on the Indy 11 staff, ran in the mini marathon, and then
I remember that. So did Greg, didn't he?
Sure.
Wedekamp, not
right, not me. No,
right.
But anyway, Tyler is a guy that could frankly run the mini marathon and then go play in an Indy 11 match. That's how fit he is.
Do you know what? And I don't know if this is true. You'll know because you remember everything. But Jason Sehorn used to live like 5 miles from the Giants training facility and used to jog to practice, have practice, and then jog home.
You know, of all the players I thought we might reference in the broadcast tonight, I didn't have Jason Sehorn dialed up.
Man, you got to look at my notes. My notes have a lot of weird things in them.
Corner kick coming here. Opportunity for Sporting Kansas City 2 in minute number 69. They have the short corner option in Davis. They'll send it back post and kind of clear through everybody. Mushagalusa with the ball at his feet. Give and go between he and Lee.
Clever.
Plays it across. Top of the 18. Score for Sporting Kansas City 2. It's Barbier that gets the goal. Danny Barbier. His first goal of the season. The give and go between Leith and Mushagalusa set it up. And the Indy 11 trailing at home here in half number 2. Exceedingly well done by Sporting Kansas City 2.
Great ball.
Finds the upper right-hand corner. So this is a position that Indy has not found themselves in this building. That is trailing this year.
That is a great example of, and we saw it from Perry Barrett almost from the same spot, you know, a week or so ago. You don't need to crush it. You don't need to crush it. Just, you know, redirect the ball, place it in the right spot, and good things happen.
And this is where we point out the Indy 11 have not lost in this building for 29 matches. The last time they lost here, July 4th, 2018, 1-0 to Ottawa Fury. Ioze to Pasher. Kuich got there first.
Play.
Ioze keeps it in play. But it's 28 matches coming into tonight without a loss. 21 of those victories, 7 draws. It has been 11 consecutive matches with a win. It has been over a year since the Indy 11 even played to a draw in this building. That was against Lou City last June 29th. Barrett right
Great
down the
look.
middle. Thompson spilled it and then swept to the side by Sporting Kansas City 2.
Great look, great run by Matt Watson. There you go, turn the volume up now.
Not the clearance Sporting Kansas City 2 was looking for. Another throw in coming here. Nope. Would have been off of Ioze. Fans, you can follow the Indy 11 and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the nearly 8 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. What a week this could be for Sporting Kansas City 2. If they could get wins at Louisville and at Indianapolis, simply put, that doesn't happen.
Good turn.
Lindley couldn't find Illich, but Illich finds the ball. And Pasher finds some real estate. Pasher on the right side of the attack. Draws 3 sets of eyes from Sporting Kansas City 2 to Pasher. Osman looking for Pasher, swept away. Illich, just too much traffic. 9 behind the ball there for Sporting Kansas City 2.
And a clever little thought. You had Cam Lindley making an overlapping run out on the right side. And Ilya Illich tried to create just enough space to lift it.
That'll be off of Rabin. And 1 sub available for the Indy 11. 2 for Sporting Kansas City 2. Well, this is a result they would be cheering in both Louisville and St. Louis. Trying to keep pace with the Indy 11. Throw in coming again for the Indy 11. This portion of this match brought to us by Ivy Tech. In-demand programs like information technology, healthcare, supply chain, and advanced manufacturing. Ivy Tech Community College is the place to get started or continue working toward your education goals. Cerna plays that ball off of Watson. Throw in for Sporting Kansas City 2.
What a ball by Patty Barrett.
Andrew Carlton sprinting towards the Indy 11 bench. Bit of a giveaway here. Pasher charging for it, but couldn't do anything with it. Now Watson. So Carlton will be the 5th and final substitution. Gibson couldn't settle, but hustling towards it and earns a corner.
Here we go. Good pressure. Love the energy. Love the energy.
Played off of Dylan Cerna. And now you have your preferred corner taker at the flag in Iose.
Man, we've seen it so many times. How about Neviel Hackshaw sneaking in on the backside?
They'll go short. Steered around this direction. Hackshaw the target. No damage off that ball. Now Watson headed down, but not much on it. I believe that was Osmond that sent that one towards Thompson. Fans, make sure you watch Wish TV as you're doing right now. If you're watching in Indianapolis, your local news source, and online at wishtv.com.
Wow.
Onside. Mushagalusa. Gibson gets in the way. And Watson comes out of a 4-car group with the ball. And Illich the worse for wear on that play.
And he saw it. He saw it. He saw Io.
And a yellow card has been given. Carlton standing by, the 4th official. By the way, that should be our water break, and it will be. So the team's head to the sidelines, take another look. And Duke picks up the yellow. Cam Lindley, by the way, will be the player that will sub out for the Indy 11. So Andrew Carlton, who has an assist on the season, and certainly a creative player in the attack to help find a potential goal or more for the Indy 11 in the final 15+ minutes. You see some players heading towards the bench. Carlton's like, I haven't played yet. I'm going straight for the field. Carving out my territory right here.
I love the energy they've played with in the last 5-6 minutes. You got this feeling that good things are coming. It's very different than, you know, in St. Louis. Body language here is strong and confident.
Crowne Plaza downtown Indianapolis is the official host hotel of the Indy 11. Book your stay at Crowne Plaza Indy downtown.com. Not many places can you stay inside of a train car. You can do that at the Crowne Plaza downtown, playing off the Union Station theme.
How long have you been able to do that?
as long as they've had the hotel there.
Because that was, I used to live in Chattanooga, and the Chattanooga Choo Choo used to have, probably still does, you could sleep in train cars. That's pretty cool.
So Patty Barrett will hit the reset button here. So we'll not see Carl Lamette tonight. We'll not see Evan Newton tonight. And Hackshaw couldn't keep it in play.
And you look at the way that, you know, when you're running a little bit low on energy, a goal can get you to finish. In Sporting, KC2 has not dialed back their pressure. So too many short passes, too many touches in the same pocket on the field is just going to squeeze your own space.
Illich able to play the carom. Pasher the lead. Ball finds Illich. Another ricochet that this time bounds in favor of Sporting Kansas City 2. Connor the worse for wear on that one. It's about this time. Distribution error by Thompson, but does not harm him.
And that's a couple from him tonight. I don't know that he is healthy.
So Thompson waiting for Pasher to give him some space, which he's not required to do. This one finds Townsend at midfield. Illich trying to hold up play as best he can. It'll be a throw-in coming for the Indy 11. The USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allows clubs across the USL to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent. Following the success of the first Academy Cup events, clubs can now apply to participate in the USL Academy League kicking off next spring. For more information, USLacademy.com. Search the hashtag USL Academy on social media. Barbier steers out of the 18. And Iose and Carlton not on the same page. Duval Wapiwo set to enter for Sporting Kansas City 2. Looks like Camden Riley will be joining him as well. Riley, a usual starter for this group. Watson
good look.
finds a seam, but can the ball find him? Pasher applying some additional pressure. And Iose elevates beyond his 5'8" status. Now flicks it again for Pasher. And there will be a throw-in, however, though, for Sporting Kansas City 2. A lot of the volunteer officials don't like that call. You've seen kind of this pressing nature ever since giving up that goal for the Indy 11. There's still 10+ minutes left to go in this match.
Yeah, and it's going to be an exciting 10 minutes. This is going to be a feverish pace, and the longer that clock ticks down, the more intensity they're going to come with. Oh, what a turn.
Mushagalusa sprinting back. Watson plays it across, and that's a goal kick. Yep, that ball deflected off Matt Watson. Well done. And Cerna taking a little extra time to get up after that one. He and Watson had the collision, then he hustles back to block this cross. Connor wins that 50-50 ball. You can take the boys in blue with you wherever you go. Download the all-new Indy 11 app in the Apple Store. Get it on Google Play. When Indy 11 was shut out last Sunday against St. Louis, it was the first time dating back to the beginning of last October they had not scored a goal in a game. In danger of being shut out for a second time in a week is the Indy 11. Again, a team that is averaging more than 2 goals a game. Carlton is onside here. He's got Illich at the top of the 18 if he can get it to him. But the Indy 11 so far been able to crack the code. Illich the lead for Carlton, who plays it off to Watson. He's got 4 runners to choose from inside of the 18. Has to set the ball at his own feet first.
Tough. Good back pressure.
But then given away by Sporting Kansas City 2. Illich. Pasher lifts it over the ball.
Oh. It's coming. It's coming. You can feel it.
Again, Pasher on his right side. Not as lethal there, but still the guy you want to have the ball in that scenario. Davis will exit. Wapiwo will come in to replace him. And Davis taking his dear old sweet time to make his way to the 4th official. And Riley will be replacing Jahan Rao. And Riley has started every match this season up until tonight. Riley made 24 appearances a year ago for Sporting Kansas City 2. And he is the all-time leading scorer at the University of the Pacific.
44, Camden Riley.
So both teams have exhausted their substitutions for the night. Pasher makes the run again, but Gibson likes to play it sideways to Watson instead. Now Ioze will be the target. Our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Carlton.
Good turn.
Plays it across. Thompson couldn't stop it.
Oh my word.
The shot from Illich deflected. But the opportunities are presenting themselves now on a regular basis for the Indy 11. Riley off his back. Ioze sends it in. Back post. Barrett couldn't get there. Pasher will settle. Pasher. Osmond couldn't latch on to it. Well, with the team the status of the Indy 11, with 15 points through 6 matches, every night you feel it's going to be 3. Right now 1 might be okay for the home team.
Tell you what, I love the fight in both of these teams tonight.
And Indy 11 ended one of the longest home unbeaten streaks in league history some 10 days ago. Now they are in danger of having the 2nd longest home unbeaten streak end in their own building. And on Wednesday, Indy joined Charleston from 2014 through 2016 that had 28 consecutive matches at home without a loss. The only team that's had more, Rochester, 33 in a row from 2012 to 2014. That'll be a goal kick for Jordan Farr. Again, a draw would extend that streak for the Indy 11. More importantly, it stretches their lead over St. Louis, Louisville, and this Sporting Kansas City's 2 side by at least a point temporarily. Carlton sees Watson across the pitch. Diagonal ball for Iose. Rabin, the player closest to it. And that'll be a foul on Iose. And Iose will see yellow.
It's tough. Once you back into a player, you pretty much put yourself on that watch list for a card.
Second yellow of the season for Iose. And that was Wapiwo. And that was more for the step on top of the foot against Duval Wapiwo from Cameroon.
Figure there's got to be 3-4 minutes and counting right now.
Yep. Now again, if Wapiwo can't continue, they'll play a man down. All 5 subs have been used. So he'll be asked to soldier on as best he can.
In those situations, if something's serious, you just put him up as a target.
We have seen that tactic before in days gone by for the Indy 11. It appears that he'll be able to continue on. About to enter the 90th minute. And the Indy 11 will be in first place at the conclusion of business tonight, regardless of what happens in this game. But you would love to see that streak continue. 2 players go down far, scrambles to it quickly, and restarts in just as efficient of manner.
In this, if you're sporting KC2, you may want to think about dropping that back line a little bit deeper, trying to limit that space in behind him.
Seven minutes will be added on. More than enough time from the Indy perspective. Illich give and go. Carlton gave it back, and Illich thought he was going to keep it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth
Farr races out to restart.
A minimum of 7 minutes will be added to the
Leaf up on an island currently for Sporting Kansas City 2. It's really more of a 5-4-1 that Kansas City is currently playing. Where do you find space against this, Brad?
You got to go wide. You got to open up the field. Right now, there's too many balls that are just played right down the center where they can compact and reduce your space.
Barrett couldn't get there, but the ball stays in play for Iose. And that will be a goal kick. Or a corner kick, excuse me. Corner kick. Iose let it go. Kansas City player just carried it over the line in Rabin. And now if you're Indy, you throw everybody forward.
Here you go.
With Iose providing service. Carlton wants it outside of the 18 of Iose's season. He'll go towards the 6, headed down and off the bar. Hackshaw leaves it for Iose, so he can send it in again. Hackshaw down. Indy plays on. Carlton sends it in. Skied. Illich settles in traffic. Osmond can't get to it. And now knocked back to the middle of the park. Farr will play it.
Ilya Illich in that kind of traffic to bring the ball down and actually look to play it.
Carlton gives it a rip, not the right play. Let's take a look at Hackshaw, the best chance on goal tonight.
What a ball in, and Hackshaw fights, climbs the ladder to go get it.
Missed it by inches.
Get this traffic to play it to a teammate with 5 guys around you.
And Thompson wisely taking his time before sending it towards midfield. And that'll be a foul against Sporting Kansas City 2. Carlton couldn't get it through Wapiwo. But give it back in midfield.
Got to keep it moving. You got to stay away from the trap. They've got the energy to be able to compact the field and run pressure at you. You got to keep the ball moving.
Gibson looking for Watson, but Thompson got there. Watson a little bit of contact, but again, nothing that merits a conversation. Four minutes left to go. Townsend, the target. Hackshaw steers it away. Some numbers committed forward for Kansas City. What a ball.
Good find.
Connor. Left foot looking back post. Barrett. Barrett! Top of the net.
Oh my goodness.
Didn't miss it by much. Trying to go for his second goal in as many tries against Sporting Kansas City 2 this year.
Yeah, it still feels like there's 2 or 3 good opportunities left in this match.
And didn't miss that by much, did Patty? Three minutes of added time left to clear for the Indy 11. And Hackshaw wins yet another ball at midfield. Iose trying to find Pasher. Throw in coming here for Indy. Again, you can take the chance and wave numbers forward. Barrett with space to distribute. At the edge of the 18. Illich couldn't get to it. Thompson races off his line. Takes down Watson. Again, you're not going to get that call when you're going away from goal, but it will be a throw-in for the Indy 11. Ball finds Gibson.
Wow.
Gibson. Pasher. Pasher tried to slide it through, but he and Iose not on the same page. Illich heads it down. Osmond couldn't get to it. And Thompson will wisely wait for Pasher to make him pick it up. And again, Pasher will hover around Thompson. Before Thompson sends it down the park and sprays it wide. Another 90 seconds left to go.
Great
Watson
run.
is on side, but couldn't find it. Still 60 seconds left to go. We've seen the Indy 11 have a 97th minute winner this year. Now looking to have a 97th minute equalizer. That ball is across the touchline.
I tell you though, that was a smart ball. Knock it 60 yards away.
And Osmond couldn't keep possession, and then fouls Mushagalusa. Yep.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised by that ball from Patty Barrett. Came at him. Mitch Osmond wasn't expecting it. Thought they were going to knock it long, opposite side to Io.
And shown a card. And now you would think this ball is sent to the corner flag, and you try to kill it off if you're Sporting Kansas City too. And we could easily be witnessing the first Indy 11 loss in this building in 25 months. Credit Paulo Nagamura's team. They have been outstanding tonight. Barrett skies it. Osmond knocks it forward. One last opportunity. As we watch the ball, we also look at the official looking at his wristwatch. Exactly how much time is given on top of stoppage time. It cannot be much.
I feel like you lose possession at this point. The whistle blows.
Iose plays it forward. Ball knocked to the sidelines. Still time.
Who's the hero? Who's got it in him to be the hero?
Carlton. Ball deflected. The advantage continues. But this should be enough. Farr will play to the top of the 18. Now Osman. But he stumbles. That's in. What a week for Sporting Kansas City 2. Went to Wednesday without any points. They win at Louisville. They win at the Indy 11. Final score this evening, Sporting Kansas City 2-1. Indy 11-0. And again, this brings the Indy 11 back to the pack just a bit in Group E.
I'll tell you what, it clouds things up. You know, St. Louis is sitting in a spot right now where you've got two teams on your heels that are both playing well. Lou City's not getting the points, but they're playing great. And Sporting KC 2 is playing great and getting results now.
So 6 points for Sporting Kansas City 2. They join Lou City in a tie for third place in Group E. Again, the Indy 11 remain in first place, but they have lost at home for the first time since July of 2018. Back to wrap up our game broadcast next on Wish TV and ESPN+.
Visit Indy11.com for tickets. We hope to see you there. On behalf of all of us here at Indy 11 at Lucas Oil Stadium, we appreciate your support. Please travel home safely and wear a mask.
Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. And by Community Health, exceptional care simply delivered. Community Health Network. The Indy 11 go down in defeat. Sporting Kansas City 2 off of one goal. Down the Indy 11 by a score of 1-0. And that one goal is our West Fork Whiskey shot of the game. West Fork Whiskey, Indiana's premier whiskey distillery. Beautiful play on the give and go. Mushagalusa finds Barbier. Barbier finds the back of the net, and it's going to be a fun bus ride home. That 7-hour trip back to Kansas City.
I'll tell you what, great finish too. It's just sitting there recognizing you've got a little screen in front of the keeper and just redirecting the energy of the ball.
And again, St. Louis has back-to-back wins over Indy and Louisville, but one of those was in St. Louis. To do this on the road, again, it speaks to the solid job that Paulo Nagamura has done in coaching and the quality talent they have on this two team in Kansas City.
Right, and you know, Indy 11 is the better side, and you know is put themselves in a really good position here. But you look at a team like this that's this talented and plays with such energy and such connectivity, and it's like you got to try and put them away early. If you let them hang around, a transitional moment, a restart, something could get you.
A few more miles for those guys before they get on the bus. We still have a few more segments to talk with you on the Central Indiana Honda Dealers post-game show. The Indy 11 For the first time in 29 matches, do not get a point or all three in this building. Sporting Kansas City 2-1, Indy 11-0. Post-game coverage next on Wish TV.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.